Welcome to Cryptocurrencies, the Future of Digital Money show at PortfolioWealthGlobal.com. My name is Michelle Holliday. Today promises to be one of the most interesting projects that we have ever covered because it combines the digital features of cryptocurrencies with the physical aspects of precious metals. The cryptocurrency is called Kinesis, and we are being joined right now by Mr. Thomas Coughlin. Tom is the CEO of Kinesis Limited, as well as the Allocated Bullion Exchange. Tom has worked in the investment, funds management, and bullion industries for approximately 17 years. This is an important interview, and Tom Beck, the founder of Portfolio Wealth Global, a multimillionaire investor at 36, he was one of the only newsletter writers in the world to have covered Ethereum at $15. He is very interested in Kinesis and supplied questions for today's guest. We want to announce right now that we have just published our new top 5 crypto picks. The free report goes into detail on each of the top 5 and can be found at portfoliowealthglobal.com/top5. That's TOP and the number 5. And we are being joined right now by Mr. Thomas Coughlin, the CEO of Kinesis, to discuss this brand new gold and silver backed cryptocurrency. And this is exciting. Tom, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Very well. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you very much for having me on the show today.
This is going to be great. Tom, let's start off with a fundamental question. From your perspective, what are the problems with other cryptocurrencies that Kinesis solves?
Sure. So at Kinesis, what we've focused in on is what makes money successful and sustainable. And there's 2 primary factors that we focused in on. Firstly, money must be an effective store of value. So an effective store of value is hold its value over time and not be so volatile, the price going up and down so much. The second is efficient medium of exchange. So what that means is, can I efficiently transfer value between one party to another party? And this is really what blockchain and distributed ledger technology has facilitated on a global stage. And also what we've focused in on and what we've utilized with our technology. So to your question about, problems that we solve with Kinesis, well, cryptocurrencies are a brand new asset, put it that way. And they're largely simply a digital asset. And no one really knows the value of these things because it's really just digitally created assets. So they're very volatile, they're difficult to value. Because they're difficult to value, I think feeds the volatility. And they can go up and down, certainly a lot more than what a currency should in a day or even in an hour.
Right. We're seeing that lately, right?
Indeed we are. And ultimately, what money should serve is the commerce of the world. And for money to be successful, it needs to be as close as possible to the fixed unit of account. Now, obviously, because we have legal tender in each jurisdiction around the world, each region, then it's these alternate currencies, they cannot be immediately fixed units of account because we're not pricing, we're not pricing our goods and services legally at the moment in these different currencies. But they're too volatile for them to actually serve the commerce of the world. Like, for example, I might be in a low margin business, and for me to accept like Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other cryptocurrency, I don't really, by the time I accept it and then say even convert it to fiat currency, the native currency that I'm using, firstly, it's costly to do the conversion. Secondly, it's so volatile, who knows where the price might be. Yeah, sure, I might win, but also I might lose, but I cannot take that risk and chance of losing. So what we've done at Kinesis, we've taken a large, established, very old market, one of the oldest markets in the world, gold, independently priced by civilizations all around the world for thousands of years as money. It's really the money of the universe. It's a very rare sort of cosmic event which happens. It's 2 neutron stars colliding.
Right.
That's it. And it's really the natural money of the universe, and it's held its value throughout time. So it's the perfect store of value. And so that's a very big problem that we solve, that cryptocurrencies certainly have. They haven't. We solved that problem to a very large degree, and we add a lot more benefits. We have an entire ecosystem that I'll get into later. The different aspects of our system, but yeah, that's a significant problem that we solve anyway.
Awesome. Now, Tom, what are the KOU and the KAG?
Yep. So KAU is the gold coin. So both gold and silver, they're called monetary metals, and they actually have like currency ticker codes. So just like USD or EUR or JPY, gold and silver have currency ticker codes as well, and that's XAU for gold. That's XAU in the banking industry for gold, and XAG for silver. We've just put, because our name's Kinesis, we've put KAU. So AU being, like the chemical symbol for gold, and AG being the chemical symbol for silver. So KAU, KAG. So one's the gold coin, one's the silver coin, ultimately. And they're one for one. I don't like to use the word backed, but it's one for one based on the actual gold and silver, physical gold and silver, allocated directly into the ultimate beneficial owner's name. So when I buy KAU, I'm actually holding and owning a portion of a gold bar. I own it, for example. So in the case of KAU, it's 1 gram. And it's divisible. You can go into divisible units of the gram as well, like down to below a cent in value, ultimately. So I buy 1 KAU, I own 1 gram of gold. If I buy 1 KAG, I own 10 grams of silver. So that's really what they are, and they're the primary currencies within our monetary system.
It's Kinesis Gold and Kinesis Silver. Gotcha. Now, Tom, will you please explain the Bespoke blockchain technology to us?
Sure. So, what we've implemented and developing still in Kinesis is our own entire monetary system. It's closed loop, and it's all integrated together. The backbone of it is, of course, the blockchain technology. Now, we've taken what we deem to be the most efficient and effective blockchain technology out there to facilitate an entire monetary system, which is a blockchain system called Stellar. Its efficiency rates are far beyond, say, for example, Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything like that. Like it can process around like 3,000, even up to 10,000 transactions a second with transaction times of 3 to 5 seconds. So it's highly efficient, and that's per currency, per product that's trades through the system.
Wow, that's impressive.
It's highly efficient. But then we've taken that and we've improved on it and added our own bespoke requirements to it. So, for example, if you take blockchain networks out there, they all charge their transaction fees on a set rate per transaction. So in the cases of Bitcoin, I think I saw even transaction fees up to $20 per transaction at one point. It all varies depending on different things. And the thing is, if I could be buying a coffee, and if I want to do it on the blockchain, I can't do that if my transaction fee is going to be $20.
Right. Exactly. It's a pricey coffee.
So we thought it was more appropriate to actually have like a sliding scale of fees that look at the actual value and apply a percentage per value of the transaction. So if I buy $1 coffee or $2 coffee, then I get charged an appropriate rate. In our case, we charge 0.45%, so 45 basis points. But if I'm doing $1 billion transaction, then I should be charged a different transaction fee as well. So we implemented our own bespoke fee charging functionality there. We implemented new security protocols and functions there as well to implement what we consider to be like the most secure blockchain network on the planet. And so, yeah, that's really what we've done there. We've sort of taken the best of the best and then added what we feel are even better features, and ultimately, yeah, facilitated our system that the way that we want it to be facilitated.
Awesome. Now, Tom, Kinesis is a very interesting cryptocurrency. I think everybody's been looking for the gold and silver-backed cryptocurrency. Everybody's like, when is it coming? How's it gonna work? Now, in this case, you have multiple ways of making money. What are the 4 forms of yield that Kinesis offers?
Sure. So firstly, I'll just give a little bit of background. I mean, what we've done at Kinesis is we've created a system of shared wealth. And we want this system to be ultimately sustainable and highly successful in the long run, and benefit everyone, both individually and collectively. So everyone's individual performance is rewarded through this yield system, but also the entire ecosystem success rewards all participants in the system as well. So ultimately, you know, there's a principle out there called Gresham's law, and Gresham's law is a human psychological function that whereby when we make a decision to invest and change one currency for another currency, when 2 currencies exist in the one environment, then we actually value that other currency higher than the one that we just exchanged it for. For example, if I wish to invest in gold, say take my US dollars and exchange it for gold, then why would I use gold as my payment currency? Because I'm actually valuing it higher than I am US dollars. I will want to spend my US dollars instead of spending gold. And this is something that's really held back gold and other assets from being like monetized. In the case of gold, remonetized. And so we implemented this all incentivizing yield system, which is actually where our name comes from, Kinesis. It's designed to put the money into motion. So Kinesis in Greek means movement. In biological terms, it actually means non-directional movement from stimulus. So, and this is why we're like the money for the people.
The money for the people. Right.
I mean, under our current fractional banking system and fiat monetary system, the money comes out through the banks and it comes back through the banks, through lending. And you take away all debt, then you have no money. In the case of us, the people actually mint and create their own money. So we have what's called a minter's yield. And what this is, anyone can come into our primary market. We have a 2-tier market structure. Into our primary market and mint and create their own currency. So they buy, you know, KAU or KAG. And then as soon as they buy it, it's emitted downstream into our secondary market. To get the minter's yield, they then need to send, spend, or sell it. All right. So as soon as they send, spend, or sell it, then they start to receive a yield. It's the only money on planet Earth whereby you actually get a benefit after you actually use your currency. So you go out and spend your US dollars, goodbye US dollars. You never see that. Right. Go down to Tiffany's. No, that's it.
That's right.
in the case of Kinesis, the more money that you spend, then the greater benefit you have through this minter's yield. You start receiving a proportion of the transaction fees of the entire monetary system. So if I spend $50,000 of Kinesis in 1 year or $100,000, that money goes out into that whatever I spent is calculated as a proportion of all money that's spent in the system. It goes out and I start getting more and more fees, transaction fees coming back to me, which come back to me every month based on how much I actually spend. So what this is designed to do is to incentivize me to actually use the currency over and above legal tender or any other currency out there. I benefit from actually using the currency, and I benefit from putting it into motion, and that's called money velocity. So if I'm rewarded for actually using this currency over another currency, then I'm going to use this currency. It's just the way that it works. So that's the first yield. Anyway, it makes a lot of sense. It's only technology that has facilitated this. I'm sure economists or monetary historians in the past have never thought about implementing a system like this before because the technology didn't exist.
Right.
What blockchain and distributed ledger technology has enabled us to do is implement a system like this. So it's going to have some interesting economic and monetary consequences, I think. So, and what it allows you to do is have a real stable, real stable money that is flatlining in price, say, for example, but it still incentivizes it to circulate. So one of the great arguments against like the gold standard back in the days by Milton Friedman or Keynes or whomever was that it's deflationary and it doesn't facilitate and stimulate economic activity. Whereas what we're doing is we're implementing the stimulus and we're keeping the stimulus outside of what is like the safe, sound, and honest money, the effective store of value being gold. So anyway, that's the reason why it's there. And everyone can obviously make money by minting. Like a business could pay its employees, for example. It mints the coins and then pays its employees, and it's sent it on, and it creates a whole new revenue line for itself. Or a mine might sell its gold in and then sell it, and it creates a whole new revenue line for itself. But the next yield is a holder's yield. And this is a passive yield, not active like the minter's yield. So this is where I just simply buy KAU or KAG with the gold or silver coin, and I just hold it. And so this becomes a comparable asset class to, say, for example, bank deposits, bonds, dividend yielding stocks on the stock market, or rental property investments, which are passive investments which derive a yield, a passive yield, just for holding them. And so what we've done at Kinesis is we've effectively created a new asset class which has a passive yield to target the trillions of dollars of capital also sitting in those other asset classes. And if we have a comparable yield, then ultimately global capital is mobile and seeking highly attractive risk to return metrics. So if our risk to return metrics look good, then we're going to be attracting capital. And ultimately we have a so secure asset being gold or silver, very stable. But we've got this whole new component now. It's not just a lump of metal that's non-yielding. It's actually deriving a yield. So we're changing the whole dynamics of precious metals completely. The third aspect, which is like the viral aspect of what we do, we call it a recruiter's yield. It's like an affiliate a fee sharing or a referral system. It encourages people to individually go out and refer in their friends or family or businesses or broker dealers or whatever it may be. And for whoever you refer in, someone refers in the system, they get a cut of the transaction fees of that person that they refer in for life, forever. Just like the minter's yield, as soon as you mint it and you you spend it, you get a cut of the transaction fees forever.
That's so extraordinary. Forever.
It's forever.
Wow.
Yeah. That's why it's like a benefit.
This could be really good of everyone.
Yeah, I know. So, and in our case, so then, you might get the average like mum or pop that goes out and just wants to, they might love the system and what it stands for, the whole philosophy of it, money for the people and sound money, honest money. And so they go out and refer in their friends and family. They also get rewarded for that. So there's an incentive to do that. But also, you might have like online marketers who wish to, they need to build out the business case for actually promoting this as well. So in our case, we have a consortium of the largest online affiliate marketers in the world that have put together a big business. Because at the end of the day, like a monetary system has pretty big bones when it comes to being a business. Anyone who uses money can benefit from it somehow.
Oh, yeah.
So it allows for businesses, for this like cottage industry to be sort of to form off the back of it, and for this thing to go viral and to expand organically. And that's really a big thing in it as well. There's another yield there called a depositor's yield, and that's really for deposits that come into the system into our secondary market instead of our primary market. The initial deposit, there's benefit in that being like ultimately for it to be the largest possible, because then once you spend that, then you'll receive a yield off that as well forever. So anyway, that's all the yields, and that's the reason behind the yields as well.
So there really is significant incentive for people to actually use it.
Yeah, there's great incentive for
Rather
people.
than hold it. A lot of people like to hold their cryptocurrencies, not to say that they can't with Kinesis, but boy, if you can spend it and get other people to spend it,
That's
it
right.
sounds amazing.
And that is another problem with cryptocurrencies that I didn't mention. This Gresham's law, which is bad money drives out good. So if someone is making the decision to invest in, say, Bitcoin, then they're looking for the price to go up. Yeah, sure, it might be easy for us in some respects to actually use it, like, through the internet, etc. But it's they want the price to go up against US dollars. In our case, the sexy factor is the yield. We don't want people speculating on the price. We want people to make money from the system, but it's more so from the yield. But anyway, yes, that's it.
That is extraordinary. Now, please tell us a little bit about your own background and a little bit about the team that's behind Kinesis.
Yeah, so as you kindly outlined at the very beginning, yeah, I come from a finance background, a funds management background. Actually, it was my time in investment and funds management which brought me into the precious metals industry. I became like a little bit of a monetary historian. I saw the injustices that were happening in the gold market with certain manipulation. And you mentioned that you interviewed Andy Maguire, who is one of the most respected figures and one of the largest figures in the precious metals space. He's a whistleblower, and he's worked with regulators and the like. And we actually do as well. And actually, I've got an interview with Bart Chilton tomorrow on Russia Today. And he's like an ex-commissioner for the CFTC. And, we're doing a lot of work with in that space. And what got me into the gold space was seeing the injustices, seeing how the market was manipulated, and just wanting to make a change. And we were always looking as well how to take it to the average person. But I realized, and with ABX, we needed to go to the institutional level. And we've done we made some amazing progress there and done deals with the likes of Deutsche Börse and post offices and postal systems around the world. And now the time has come with the technology that's out there, and with blockchain technology, we can take it to the people. And we consider ourselves like the evolution of the gold standard and re-monetizing gold and silver. So yeah, that's my background, my team's background. We're markets people. We come out of the exchange spaces. We know how to put markets together, bring vibrant liquid markets together. So we've got exchange specialists in our team, like market specialists. We're more, I'd call us more finance people rather than crypto kids. We're not the sort of like geeks that sit in a garage sort of crunching away on the code all night long. But we also have a very large IT team, which is the backbone of our entire organization, obviously. And so yeah, that's really us, like in a nutshell. Obviously, our IT team, it has a particular specialty both in exchange and also blockchain technology as well.
Awesome. Now, Tom, you just mentioned Andy Maguire, who we had on the show a couple of weeks ago, as you mentioned. He's huge in gold. He sits on your advisory board. One of the things that he was telling me was that you already have a huge underlying infrastructure already in place for this cryptocurrency. And the cryptocurrency Kinesis hasn't even rolled out yet. I understand it's either later this year or next year, right?
That's correct, yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about this infrastructure you have in place? Because this is extraordinary for a new cryptocurrency to already have what you have going on.
Yeah, we're a little bit different to most cryptocurrencies. We haven't come out with a white paper and say, this is what we want to do, invest in us now. We have all our strategic partners to get us off the ground and hit the ground running already in place. We have all the technology 95% complete. So we have this very highly unique two-tier market structure. The primary market utilizes technology developed by ABX. So it's institutional grade technology. It's technology that rates as far as speed and latency with like the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ, etc. It's exchange technology. We have, like 150 broker dealers and traders all around the world at the institutional level utilizing this technology. And it also manages all the physical holdings in our vaults spread across the world. So we have vaulting locations all around the world. And then buyers and sellers all around the world coming together. So it might be like an Istanbul buyer, buying from a Hong Kong seller. And it facilitates all this cross-border trade. It's very complicated stuff. And what ABS has done is made it highly efficient and broken down all the barriers to entry in global trade of precious metals. So the technology already exists for the management of the physical side and also the primary market. And we've built out, ultimately, it's already 95% complete, the rest of it. So the blockchain, we have strategic deals with mobile banks, for example, which issue the debit card, both Visa, MasterCard, right, all across the world, like domestically.
Already issued. That's what I want to let our viewers know. This is already issued and with banks all across the world. It's amazing.
That's correct. Yeah. And we've got deals in place with postal systems. Like, for example, the primary one is the Indonesian postal system. But we're working with a number of the others to join it all together. And so you've got like points of like physical locations where people can go, and they may be like unbanked or underbanked. They can't get a bank account. They can deposit their physical cash into these post offices and actually enter our system. It's a monetary system that we're creating. And so these are quite large deals that we've already put in place before even launching this thing, and they keep on coming through. Our deal flow pipeline is very strong. So it's all there. We've got what's also called the Kinesis Commercial Center as well, and it brings together all the merchants and people can utilize their currency up against these merchants, as well as an entire crypto exchange, which is 95% complete as well. So you don't need to go to a Coinbase or something like that to trade in Kinesis. We've got it all within our system.
So if you're already in, your structure is into banks internationally, post office infrastructure internationally, does this mean that you already have the gold set aside backing all of this cryptocurrency already before you even roll out?
So it's not actually us who buys the gold and puts it there. We have, it's called dedicated market makers or liquidity providers that take the gold, like brand new gold bars or silver bars, and put them in the vault. And then they say, okay, we've got this much currency for sale. It's according to the gold or silver already sitting in the vault. It's not like the banking system or something like that where we're selling currency that may not exist or may not be there. The gold must be there or the silver must be there for it actually be sold and issued. So yeah, we've got, we announced a big deal the other day with, it's called Fine Metal Asia. They're one of the largest gold traders in Asia. They service all the jewelers and the banks and the large trading houses. They put gold into our system. They're one of the parties that put gold into our system and sell it. So it's like that.
Extraordinary. Now, Tom, let's talk about the featured components of the Kinesis monetary system, because this is exciting and it's very cutting edge. And I'd love for you to give a full description for everybody, just what Kinesis is in a nutshell.
So yeah, it's a monetary system ultimately, and what we've done is put together all the necessary components for someone to have the ultimate user experience. So, and for it to be completely streamlined. So in our case, like I said, we have this two-tier market model. the top primary market. That's where the coins are minted and created, and then they come down into the secondary blockchain network, as we call it. Within the blockchain network, we have various different components. We have blockchain wallet. That blockchain wallet can be connected up to our mobile banking facility. The mobile banking facility allows for fiat currency to basically be onboarded or offboarded in different regions all around the world. You can utilize the debit cards, etc. So, but the cryptocurrency wallet, that's something that you just use it. You can use it solely for transferring or sending or spending Kinesis coins, and you can do so anonymously as well. In addition, we have developed our own crypto exchange where other cryptocurrencies will trade and be convertible with Kinesis, as well as convertible into fiat currency as well. So you actually don't need to go to, like I said, a Coinbase or another crypto exchange to trade in us. You can actually just come to us and be part of our entire ecosystem. We've got our own exchange.
Wow.
And this exchange, this is utilizing, like I said, we're exchange specialists, so we know what we're doing.
Obviously, it's so complicated, actually, but it's so fascinating.
Are the most complicated things, and to bring it all together sequentially in the right order and make it liquid and vibrant and have buyers and sellers interacting together in the right ways and bring that price discovery together in the right ways efficiently, it takes a lot.
Wow.
The next component is the commercial center, as I was saying, where all the merchants come in and you can send it directly to them and there's no conversions having to be done. But ultimately, for the user, the main things are this. You can come into our system, you can seamlessly use it. You get an effective store of value, something that's not going to go to zero or go up and down massively. A business can use it knowing that, their margins are not going to be wiped out in an hour. And ultimately, everyone can benefit from it commercially as well. Whoever I look at, I can see a way for someone to make money from it. So, yeah, that's really all the components of the system.
And I know Andy is so proud to be sitting on your panel, on your advisory board, because, as you mentioned, he's a whistleblower because he went back years ago to the authorities and told them, hey, I have concrete evidence of the manipulation of the gold and silver system. And obviously not much came of that, but he's extraordinarily proud to be part of something that's going to be so transparent in connection with precious metals, which is his love.
Indeed. Yeah, no, he's a very good friend of mine. I've traveled around the world to met some very interesting, colorful people all around the world with him. And, he's old enough to be my father. He won't like me saying that. But we're like long lost brothers. He's a very good friend of mine. Sure, we're very excited about this project, and yeah, he says he can't sleep at night. Either can I. And the more we talk to people, and the more we see that we're making a difference, the more excited we are. And we'd be delighted for your audience to come along for the journey with us and to check out what we're doing, for sure.
Oh, we'd be delighted to. Love it. Now, we mentioned that Kinesis has not been rolled out yet. What's your time expectancy for this?
Okay, so at this point in time, we actually do have an offer open, and that's for our Kinesis, what we call the Kinesis Velocity token. And this is, it's raising capital for the entire system. So the system can firstly finalize all of its development, even though we've actually raised enough capital to date by a large magnitude to complete everything, but also to effectively commercialize it and to look after the system as well. But and what we're doing is this offer is for 300,000 tokens at 1,000 each, and it's for 20% of the entire monetary system. So whoever invests in this will get a share of the revenue of the entire monetary system. So a monetary system is a pretty big business at the end of the day. And so we have that open at this point in time. And so all your listeners can participate in that. In the US, you have to be an accredited investor, so I'll give that disclaimer now. But anyway, that disclaimer is all through any of our application forms. We roll out with the monetary system in November. That's the first phase. And we go into pre-sale of our ICO, so initial coin offering. And there's certain benefits to be part of that initial coin offering, like basically receive, if you're going to mint like currency, you receive a higher like share of the fees and higher benefits and everything like that. So it makes sense to, participate in that. And that starts in November. And then everything rolls out, I think, in early March. We bang into, Christmas there. So we want to avoid the slow months, and we roll everything out in early March 2019. So yeah, that's basically the timeline there.
This is just incredibly exciting.
Thank you very much.
This has been an amazing interview. Now, how can everyone and where can they go to learn more about Kinesis?
Yeah, sure. So I encourage everyone to do their own research and homework. Please go to our website. It's Kinesis.money. So KINESIS.money. And we've got a number of different collaterals on there, some of them very heavy and filled with numbers, some of them lighter documents. But please go there, do your own research. And if you like us, then please support us. Get involved with our current token offering. Get invested in the success of the system. We've got like this thriving community out there filled with ambassadors that are out there acting like disciples, like wanting to spread the word of Kinesis. It gives me a shot of adrenaline seeing it come through the wires all day long, and our entire team, great inspiration. So yeah, please check us out and please do your own research. And if you like what you see, please get involved.
Well, Tom, thank you so much for coming on the show, and congratulations on the upcoming rollout of this exciting new cryptocurrency.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me on the show today, Michelle. Thank you.
Mr. Thomas Coughlin, CEO of Kinesis Limited. For Cryptocurrencies, the Future of Digital Money show, I'm Michelle Holliday at PortfolioWealthGlobal.com.